Okay, so over a decade ago now, the National Council of Welfare, now cancelled by the Harper government, of course, published a report on childcare called Preschool Children Promises to Keep. And it observed that while many social programs support families, childcare is the backbone of them all. And it documented how important quality childcare is for families and for women and for children. Well, since that time, we continue to see the erosion of social safety net that supported families, and the National Child Care Program that was to have been the backbone for families has never become a reality. Why is childcare so important, and how does it fit into getting the details of a more equal society right? From the perspective of equality, there are three main ways to look at this: getting the details right for families, getting the details right for children, and getting the details right because it's a right. So for families across generations and across classes and across regions need a universal, comprehensive system of high-quality options. Publicly funded, nonprofit public services backed by a solid policy framework that actually lays out details and the approach. A system like this would be integral to reducing income and generational inequality and to a fair, more equal, more inclusive Canada. How? With access to quality childcare, mothers and fathers could go to work without enduring year-long wait lists or breaking the family budget. Young parents could get the education and training needed to access good jobs, if there are any. Low-income or sole support parents, the majority of whom are women, could gain opportunities for advancement, and parents could better balance the increasing levels of work and family stress, confident about their child's lives. Looking at getting the details right for children, the idea that early childhood education is good for children, that full-day kindergarten, for example, means more school readiness has been in vogue for some years. Most of the time, we hear about investing in the future, creating a better workforce, creating better human capital. And much of this is based on ideas that inequality can be mitigated by an injection of early childhood education. Much of the time, these arguments are backed by economic evidence, some of which is legitimate and some of which is based on huge oversimplifications. Another perhaps less neoliberal way to look at this is that, yes, of course, children need high-quality early childhood programs to build, have these opportunities and build school readiness skills for their future. And that's what high-quality childcare does. But children also simply need places to be, and they need places to grow and develop while their parents go to work, or not. They need them so that their parents can do whatever they need to do to thrive emotionally or physically or emotionally. And not only because it builds better material for the future, but because it's the right thing to do right now. And this should be a given because children are part of families and communities, and they benefit most by living in healthy families and communities. And this means supporting their parents to go to work and providing resources to their families who may be struggling with any number of issues, and making sure that children are nurtured across a spectrum of domains, including socially and emotionally, and providing a safe community space where their families can play an active role, all of which happens in high-quality childcare centres. Children, like parents, need a universal, comprehensive system of high-quality options. Here, there needs to be a strong emphasis on quality. We know from research that high-quality childcare is beneficial for children, and while poor quality is not, there also needs to be an emphasis on the benefits of quality childcare for all children, not only the lucky few whose parents can pay, or the few that are deemed disadvantaged enough. And high quality means substantial public funding used to support a solid, sustainable system, not a free market. Lastly, childcare fits into a quality agenda because it has to do with rights, ensuring universal high-quality childcare because it's the right thing to do, a children's right, a woman's right, and a human right, as defined by various United Nations agreements and part of Canada's human rights obligations. Childcare as a right means ensuring that children and young families get a fair share of our collective resources, and it means shifting this conversation from human capital to human rights. Today, childcare has become a necessity, but the gaps in accessibility and quality are bigger than they were 2 decades ago. Young families are suffering undue hardship because of the lack of childcare services in this country. It is certainly true that for some families, lone parent, low income, childcare can be the difference between work or welfare. But today, most families need childcare. Many families push their budgets and their time to the absolute maximum to find and keep childcare arrangements. Women, both mothers and grandmothers, are still bearing the bulk of responsibility for childcare, and as long as we neglect to establish a national childcare system, we neglect to fulfill the rights of Canadian women, their right to access the same economic opportunities as men, and to therefore pass on these opportunities to their children. And overall, yes, childcare is an asset to families and children, communities in the country, but most important is that we will not have economic or generational equality unless we begin to create these societal structures and systems and programs that can sustain families and devote the necessary resources to them. And we think a universal, accessible, affordable, high-quality childcare system, publicly funded, can be and should be the backbone of this support. Thanks.